Hey teeth lover, welcome to today's episode number 39, where I'm going to be talking about essentially how our body is a system, as we all know. But the reason I want to bring this up today is, well, two reasons. The one I'll get into later, but first and foremost, every time I'm talking to a hygienist, I would say probably 80% of the time they're complaining about neck pain, upper back pain, shoulder pain, so on and so forth. And then when I'm chatting with them, I'm like, okay, so like, do you have tight hips? Like, do you notice any, tension, tightness, discomfort at all anywhere in your lower body? And they're like, no, I'm okay. Or I get the reverse. We're like, oh my gosh, my low back pain is killing me. I just can't. And it's like so obvious to them and on the forefront of their mind all the time that it kind of overpowers their upper body pain, right? Or their tension or their tightness or whatever. So I get both sides. I mean, sometimes people say my shoulder and my hip hurt, but for 99.9% of hygienists I talk to, it's either one or the other. They have extreme upper body pain or they have this lower body pain that they just can't kick. But either way, on both sides of the spectrum, I get hygienists telling me like they need to strengthen. Their back is weak. They just need to strengthen their back. So today's topic is going to be, is your back weak? And if so, what do we do to strengthen it? So stay tuned in. Take notes if you want to, because we're going to dive in right now.
Hey there! Welcome to the Lift for Longevity podcast, where our goal is to build our strongest, healthiest body. We all deserve to feel our best, but since we only get one body, we have to make sure to protect it by moving safely and with purpose to prevent pain, injury, and surgery. I'm your host, Brianne Novias, and I'm a fit pro turned business owner and also a girl mom. I'm obsessed with educating and empowering dental pros on how to take care of their body by training efficiently and building the right muscles to prolong their career. I know you're tired of spending time working out but still dealing with annoying aches and pains, getting rid of your pain temporarily only to have it come right back just a few hours later, or feeling like you never have any energy. You wish there was a long-term solution to get rid of your pain for good. Well, I'm here to give you real-life, actionable steps that you can take today to get rid of your pain, say goodbye to quick fixes, and have energy to live a life that you love. So if you're ready to get stronger, enjoy your life outside the operatory, and have longevity in your career, grab yourself a high-protein snack and let's get to it.
Is your back weak? This is like such a broad question, and it's kind of like, are my teeth clean? Well, I'm sure some of them are, but there's calculus on some of them. So it's kind of the same case. And I apologize if my analogies are terrible, but, hopefully they're not because they make sense in my head. So, okay, the thing is this. Most of the time, there are, of course, are muscles in your back that are weak. The thing is, why are they weak? Okay, so a lot of muscles are weak because they are underactive, right? Like your hamstrings, for example. They feel tight because they're weak. Now, in the posterior, there are a lot of muscles that are weak that we need to strengthen. However, one muscle that is extremely overactive and very tight in hygienists, and I'll give you reasons why, is your lats, right? Your latissimus dorsi. So this muscle is huge. It's like more than half of your back, right? And essentially, hygienists have rounded shoulders, right? And I talk about this all the time. And with rounded shoulders, the lats are always, always, always overactive. So if I talk to you on the phone, or if you have my Balanced Hygienist Toolkit, I'll just plug that in now. And if you want it, send me a DM and I'll send it your way. Foam rolling your lats is going to be a key part of this toolkit, right? This process that we need to reduce our imbalances, or to fix our imbalances, to reduce our pain, I should say. Okay, so I got off a little bit topic there, but the lats, and not only that, they're the bridge, that gap between your upper body and your lower body, right? The lats are essentially, they help stabilize the shoulder, the scapula, the lumbar, the SI joint, the pelvis, right? It's the bridge between upper and lower body, right? And if these are tight, which they are, of course you're going to have pain or compensations or imbalances throughout, right? We can't just have upper body pain and just fix it. And this is one thing why I love and I hate PT at the same time because I think they're amazing. But, your shoulder pain isn't stemming from your shoulder, right? It could be from your lats. That insertion point is all the way up to the shoulder, right? So that affects the joint. And so when we go to PT, we get the script right from the doctor, and they're just always working on like one little area, when we have to address the whole entire system as a whole. This is what I do with hygienists, right? And again, I'm not saying anything negative about them, but it's like we can't just focus on one area. That would be like me sitting in your chair as your patient and just being like, well, when I floss, only bleeds like in between these few teeth. So like, can you just clean there and like skip the rest of my body? You'd be like, hell no, lady. Like, what are you talking about? You can't tell me how to do my job, right? And so this is why I'm sharing this, because I just want to give you that knowledge, that education as to like, you think you only have issues with your upper body. You're wrong. And I don't want to say you're like in denial or oblivious, but you just don't know what you don't know, right? I see it all the time. These tight lats, like it really truly affects you. I guarantee that you cannot reach your head completely overhead. Your arm, completely overhead. There's a reason for that. Or when you do go to foam roll, you're like, oh my, like I didn't know that felt like that, right? Well, there's a reason for that. Or say, your massage therapist is like, oh, your lats are really, really tight, right? So there's different indicators. I mean, you could use a foam roller on the wall too, a ball on the wall instead of a foam roller. But just to give you an idea that your lats are overactive, right? I can promise you that. And with the lats being overactive, it's going to affect everything. It's going to trickle up, it's going to trickle down. So when you think that your back is weak and you're just going and doing rows, right? Predominantly lat exercises, well, that's going to do nothing because you're just working an overactive muscle, right? So we have to work the muscles around the lats. And it's not to say that we can't work the lats, right? Because we don't ever want to neglect. But basically how I operate with hygienists is we're going to restore our posture by building these underactive muscles first, right? So we'll skip some exercises, but then down the road, like we can't skip an overhead press for the rest of our lives, right? How are we going to, I don't know, pick things off a cabinet or pick apples off a tree or whatever, right? That's just a practical part of life. But again, when your when your lats are tight, it's going to affect everything at that lumbopelvic hip region or complex. So basically like your lats work with your glutes. And I see hygienists all the time with weak glutes because the lats are overactive. I mean, there's other reasons as well, but it can contribute to that anterior pelvic tilt where you've got the weak glutes, the weak hamstrings, the weak core, the tight hips, the tight erector spinae, right? Everything is connected. Like I want to yell that as loud as possible, but I don't want to hurt your ears because I don't know if you're in the gym or in the car or wherever you're listening to me. Actually, if you could, shoot me a message and let me know where you listen to me on your drive into work. I would love to know. And thank you for listening as well. But anyways, basically like, rounded shoulders is essentially where all this stems from, right? And that, that's contributed to at work, of course, or like driving or texting or whatever we're doing, right? Where we're constantly having that excessive flexion all day long. So with rounded shoulders, I always tell people this, like you've got, excessive curvature of most likely the cervical to from forward head, but, of the thoracic, right? And if there's a point in our spine that's, either hyperlordosis or excessive curvature or whatever you want to call it, on the upper portion of the spine or the mid or the lower, it's going to affect everything around it. Just like I had this crooked tooth on the bottom and, it affected all my other teeth around it when I was a child before I had braces. Now it's back. Fun fact. So I've got to get Invisalign to fix this because I can't stand it. But sorry, I'm getting off topic so much today. But hopefully I'm getting my point across. So if you think your back is weak, again, there are muscles that are weak, right? The mid and the lower traps. We've got the rhomboids, the serratus, the rear delts. Like there's so many things that we need to strengthen and build up those muscles. But the lats are one of those that we really need to reduce the tension. We need to tell them to calm down prior to our workout so that these other muscles can take over and everything can work together, as one happy family, right? And so if you also find that like your chest falls forward when you squat, which happens a lot, that's tight hips as well, but a lot of times it's tight lats. So there's so many indicators as to having tight lats. But, my advice to you, and again, this isn't going to solve your problems overnight, but it is a piece of the puzzle when it comes to fixing imbalances. And this is why I send this as a little homework assignment to hygienists, is to foam roll your lats, right? I have a video on how to do so. If you would like that video or that toolkit, just shoot me a message, drop the word toolkit, and I'll send that your way. because it's really, really important that we are working the proper muscles, right? And again, down the road, we can work our lats, but we have to make sure that we're building up all those underactive muscles first and foremost, not the overactive muscles. So that's my takeaway for today. Yes, your back is weak, but like not all of it. So to simplify things, that's kind of my 2 cents for the day, or more than 2 cents. But let me know what questions you have on that. I hope this was helpful, and stay strong. I will see y'all next week.
Thank you so much for listening in today. I hope you got a takeaway from this episode. And if you did, would you be so kind to share it with another dental pro you think would benefit from it? I know you love learning, and chances are that they do too. Also, I would love to connect with you on Instagram, so go ahead and head over to the Lift for Longevity podcast page or follow me at Built by Brienne. If you shoot me a message saying hello, I will personally respond because I love chatting with dental pros. Before you go though, I want to let you know that I appreciate you and what you do, and I hope to chat soon. Until next time, stay strong.